Greetings to one and all. We appreciate your attendance today. So let's kickstart a session with this great quotation. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. A very good evening to all the guests and dignitaries. In this capacity as your host for the webinar on using soft skills as a tool for personality development and professionalism. I, Usha, the host, would like to take this opportunity to extend a hearty greetings to each and every one of you. Welcome all. It is a huge honor for us to have someone of this caliber here whose involvement on this topic of using soft skills as a tool for personality development adds so much value to it. Few lines regarding the topic of the event. Today's webinar will provide valuable insights into using soft skills as a tool for personality development and professionalism, highlighting the unique challenges we are facing in balancing the professional and our personal lives. So, our speaker will explore the key factors that will influence the well-being and the goal for raising the awareness for this. Before we proceed, let me take a brief moment for the introduction of my organization. SEMS Welfare Foundation is a registered non-profit organization committed to social impact across sectors, focusing on education, skill development, and entrepreneurship. Through our Digi Saksham initiative, we offer training programs in IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship impacting over 6,000 individuals. We are currently upskilling inmates in Haryana jails and collaborating with universities and colleges, having successfully placed over 1,500 candidates in jobs through partnerships with our banks. Another initiative, FEM Leads, empowers women through workshops and successful stories of female entrepreneurs. We provide programs on digital literacy, marketing, and career development, reaching over 1,000 women across multiple states and recently achieving a milestone of 100 actively involved participants. In a very short time, SEMS have become a catalyst for positive change, providing individuals with skills for employment and promoting women's leadership in various industries. Now, let me take this wonderful occasion to publicly present and welcome Ms. Kirti Vijaya, the key speaker for the today's webinar. A few lines about our speaker. Ms. Kirti Vijaya is a dedicated assistant professor of English in Srinidhi Institute of Science and Technology, Hyderabad. With a strong academic background, holding both a master's and a bachelor's degree in English, she focuses on teaching grammar, writing refinement, and language accuracy to undergraduate students. She also leads oral communication labs, helping students improve their public speaking, storytelling, and interview skills. In addition to her teaching career, Ms. Vijaya has made a notable contributions to literature. She has co-authored several anthologies, including Memories, Enigma, and Cicatrix, and co-authored and authored substantial English published in 2024. Beyond her academic and literacy roles, she is a sought after keynote speaker and certified career coach, known for her commitment to both education and literacy. With this note, I, Usha, on behalf of SEMS Welfare Foundation, would like to give my heartiest welcome to Kirti Vijaya ma'am with a huge round of applause for joining us today. Welcome, ma'am. Your presence have added
Thank you. Thank
the
you so much.
significance to the event, and we genuinely honored. We are honored to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for giving me this opportunity, first of all. And I thought of dividing this session into 3 to 4 segments. In the first segment, I'll be talking about what is the basic definition of the major terms in the topic, which is soft skills, personality development, and professionalism. And in the second segment, I'll be talking about how these terms are interwoven, interconnected, and what is the importance of these terms. In the third segment, I'll be talking about how one can incorporate these terms in their lives and bring it to practical use for their growth. And yeah, last segment can be the usual Q&A round. So I would like to begin with the definition of soft skills. So basically, soft skill is a non-technical skills which reflects how you interact and how you work at your workplace and in life in general as well, how you respond towards an incident, right? And unlike hard skills, you cannot learn it in a specific course. Rather, it comes out of your experience. It also comes out of what the kind of environment you have been raised in and the kind of upbringing you have had and experiences and the hardship, all of that, right? So you can say, in other words, these are kindly already inbuilt kind of qualities, and that's the reason they are also known as essential skills. They are also known as interpersonal skills, and they are also known as what you say, people's skills. Okay. Next is personality development. So, personality development is a process of enhancing the skills which you already have. Okay. Suppose if somebody is already having a good negotiation skills, they can be trained under a P2P trainer, and they can become a good assertive communicator. So that's what personality development it is about. It also includes fitness. It also includes mental health. It also includes grooming and etc. Okay. The third thing is professionalism. So professionalism is a fine combination of qualities which you find in a well-trained people. Okay, well-trained people, good skilled, or well equipped people with the several multiple skills. That's what it is all about. And yeah, now what is the connection between these terms? I would like to talk about that. So basically, as I already said, soft skills are already inbuilt in a person, whereas personality development is something which happens over a period of time. It's a conscious effort. Soft skills is something which is natural in you. Suppose if someone is self motivated, they can become a good leader if we train them in PDP. So that's what it is. So personality development is a conscious training, and soft skills are inbuilt. Okay, it comes from your cultural background, family, the school you have studied in, and all of that. It also comes through exposure, and I think that is the reason these days you find children's getting involved in a lot of extracurricular activities and projects. And these schools in India are being really creative these days. And these are there in order to develop not only the academic skills in a child, but also to make sure that they do have a set of soft skills which they can carry forward and thrive on. Now, if I talk about professionalism, so basically professionalism is a byproduct of what you say is personality development. So when you train someone into personality development, professionalism comes out of as a byproduct of that, right? If somebody who's really well trained, they will be their behavior at work would be like highly professional, and the practices would be accordance to the organization or institutions wherever they are working in. For example, you take army people into consideration, or you can take the any civil servant as well into consideration, who are well trained, and they do have a code of conduct, and they know how to behave. They are highly professional, and that is not restricted or limited only to the workplace, rather in social gatherings as well, in a public places as well. They come out as a very what do you say, a well disciplined citizen, and responsible citizen. So that is something very important. So when someone talks to me about these things, and I have noticed that people generally have a notion of having soft skills or personality development or professionalism like incorporate, but that's not true. It doesn't only, these practices doesn't only get restricted to corporates. Rather, we should make sure that whichever sector we are in, we do have a training session, and we need to train the working professional employees, and up to some extent I feel the final year students as well, the way we do with BTech students, like third year, fourth year students. We train them to behave in a certain way, to have a code of conduct, and to follow the protocols, right? So that is something which grooms you in the most amazing and flourishing way possible. Okay. Now, I have already told you the importance and what is the connection between these three terms and the basic definition of it. So the third segment would be a little more longer, how to incorporate these things in one's life, right? So I would say, for example, if somebody is already self motivated, right, they can be trained and they can become a good leader. Now, when it comes to, so this can be considered as a, a micro level, right, at a organizational level, that you take a set of people, you understand their qualities and you train them accordingly, and they come out and they shine in different ways, right? But what if when we talk about individuals, how do they incorporate these qualities in themselves, right? So I would say there are few best practices you can follow. For example, if somebody who is a fresher over here or a student, I would say first thing what you can start doing is planning. Plan your days. Okay, start at a micro level. Okay, plan your days, then plan your weeks, plan your months, plan your year if possible, right? And you have two options for this as well. You get good planners on digital platforms as well. For example, there is this publication house called Notion Press. They do have a life planner on their platform. You can go and surf. And I don't know whether, I'm not sure whether they charge for it or not, but they really do have a good planner. You can have a glance at it. And they have sections for everything, for budget, for your grooming, for your to-do list, task list, etc. Right? And if you don't want to get into digital stuff, then the other thing, if you are what you can do is you can go ahead being a old school, right? You can have a good diary. Buy a good diary for yourself, right? For time being, for this year anyway, we are on the verge of ending of the year 2024. So for timing, you can try this on a notepad. Please make a to-do list on everyday basis or a task list, and make sure you tick at least three, four items from that list. And if you are not able to, complete maximum of your task list task, don't be disappointed. Add it to the next day, and be consistent on it, and see how you go about it, how it works for you. Do it for some like good amount of, let's say, for example, like 2 to 3 months are there, to like 2.5 months are left to 24 getting over, right? So you can try it on in a notepad, and when the time, no, sorry, the moment 2025 comes in, you can buy a good diary for yourself, and plan your days and plan your task, and have a to-do list, have a wish list. And there is another very amazing and concept which I would like to talk about, and I have tried and tested it, and it works, coming from the book The Secret, and it is the vision board. So vision board is all about having a vision of your life, right? For example, you must have heard this question, which is very common in interviews, that they ask you, where do you see yourself after 5 years, let's say, down the line, right? So those kind of questions are, I believe, should be answered in a most genuine way possible, instead of just fabricating your answer on spot, or just fabricating something last minute which you truly not mean. Is not can become a deal breaker for you, right? So instead of doing that, what you can do is, you really have a vision to your life, and for that you can create a vision board, okay, in which you can stick up everything you want in life, right? For example, what is the kind of salary, in which kind of, like, what is the kind of figure of salary you want to have, and what is the kind of house you want to live in, what is the car you want to drive, what is the if you have a partner in your life and you want to get married to them, and whatever you wish. You wish to travel, you wish to go ahead for social services and for serving the country. It can be anything and everything, right? So it's a very amazing, life changing concept, and I have tried it all. What all I manifested for myself, what all I saw for myself happening in 2021, not happening actually. I wanted things to happen in 2021 when I was a fresher. I made a vision board, and at that point of time I wrote that I want to be a professor, I want to be an author, and I am today. So it was my manifestation in 2021, and now it's my reality, right? So I can say that it works, and hence I will recommend that please try these writing methods specifically, which is vision board or maybe task list, to do list, right? So planning does help, and it does matter at a lot. Next thing I would say is set your goals, right? There are two kinds of goals: short term goals and long term goals, right? So short term goal can be for a student, short term goal can be scoring good in semester exam, right? And long term goal can be getting placed in a good reputed company, right? And this is also coming from the concept from a book called Ikigai, and which is a Japanese secret of long and healthy life. And this book talks about vision and mission of life. So vision of life is what you see happening in long term, and mission of life is your steps taken towards that vision, right? So you can say in a layman language that yeah, it's quite similar to short-term goal and long-term goals. Okay, so first thing I would, sorry, these two things I really want to recommend people when it comes to help yourself with personality development. And next thing I would say is try to be disciplined, have a routine for yourself, have a schedule. Okay. Next thing is grooming, which is one of the most important part of personality development. So grooming is again all about, and not, oh, sorry, not all about getting into expensive brands and getting into luxury. Rather, it's about taking good care of yourself. Be mindful how you carry yourself, right? Now, it does have a lot to do with your surface level appearance. Yeah, that's true. And it also has a lot to do with your, internal, what do you say, mindset, thought process, and of course, more importantly, your communication. How do you talk to people? How you interact with people? How you do you like how efficient you are when it comes to negotiating things with people and getting things done, right? You'll see some people, these getting things done is a quality which is very natural to them, right? And when they are trained, as I said earlier as well, when they are trained properly, they come out as a very assertive communicator and very to the point, very precise and specific. And recently we lost one of those kind of leader. God, his soul may rest in peace. Mr. Like Honorable Ratan Tata ji, right? He passed away. So he was the communication style. What he had was assertive communication, right? Very precise and very to the point, and still respectful and polite towards people, and empathetic, more importantly. And when you look into his life and the kind of brands he launched in our country, it is very considerate towards all class of people and all sections of people. And this is very, very like subjective opinion of mine. And because for example, Zodio or Westside, these brands are quite affordable, and you'll find dupes of Zara clothes or any H&M expensive clothing brands. You'll find dupes of these clothing brands into Zodio and Westside, right? So which is very him being very considerate towards middle class people of India, that okay, we can also afford style in a budget, right? So that's what it is about. When you are, assertive communicator, you can also be someone who is very empathetic, because empathy and assertive communication are very interconnected terms, right? When you are empathetic listener, when you are empathetic towards people, when you understand, only then you can become a assertive communicator. Because one first and the prior feature of being a assertive communicator is you observe environment around, and you being considerate of everybody's feeling, and then you talk mindfully. Okay. The next thing is would be when it comes to grooming is yes, clothing, right? So, as I said earlier as well, you need not get into expensive brands or something as such, but you can make sure you are presentable, right? By presentable, I mean that make sure your clothes are clean, ironed properly, your footwear is clean, of course, again, and is in a good condition. And grooming also includes your hairdo. Your hairdo should be proper. Your nails should be proper. The hygiene, the odor, and the oral hygiene is on like top notch. So actually, when it comes to grooming, it is not about being expensive. Rather, it's about effort, right? You have to put in an effort to be properly groomed, right? You have to have a discipline. You have to have a specific self maintenance regime, right? You have to dedicate that particular 10-15 minutes time to make sure that everything is in place when it comes to regular maintenance. So again, grooming is all about these things. Next thing which is important for someone is to include or to uplift their personality is mental health. So for mental health, people of course know that they can go ahead for a therapy, they can go ahead for meditation. And as far as my opinion is concerned, I would say, see, the mental health is a very subjective thing, right? For different people, different kind of activity can be relaxing and can be motivating and can be enlightening, right? For example, for some people it's music, for some people it's yoga, for some people it can be any other fitness activity, Zumba or gymming or just going for a jog, right? So it is different, but whatsoever it may be, just make sure you do have a regime and you include it in your life, right? Any good practice, right? Either it can be yoga, gymming, meditation, music. For example, I'm an author, so whenever I sit and write, it is very close to meditation for me. And I am also a music lover, so I do love listening to music and being just poetic sometimes. So yeah, that's what it is about. And grooming, fitness, all these topics we have touched properly. And next thing I would like to talk about is discipline. As I said, it's having a specific regime for yourself. It's very important, right? These days we are so much soaked into content, like everybody is doing everything for just for the content, right? And I would say, instead of being today being a digital native, it's important for us that we keep in check that how much our screen time is, right? How much time we are spending on screen, and make sure that we limit it. And apart from it as well, we have life, and we have a discipline, right? So this is also one of the best practices. Next is budget. So, financial planning or financial literacy is again very important, especially for women. Because nowadays, I mean, till date, I would say, not nowadays, till date, I see a lot of women who are earning, who are making money, but they don't have a financial literacy. They are either they are not doing investments, or sometimes they are doing, but it's limited, and for that they are dependent for the knowledge of that. So instead of those kind of practices, I would say, please go ahead, learn how to invest, share, mutual fund, gold, whatever you like, right? And develop your financial literacy. Go and learn. Don't, hesitate to learn something which is new to you, which is alien to you, right? So, because whenever it comes to the concepts of self improvement or personality development, it's a lifelong process, it's a lifelong learning process. You cannot say that, okay, I have mastered the art of personality development. Even I can't say that. Nobody can say. If somebody is saying, I don't believe that it's 100% true, because it is a learning process which is in continuous all the time. So whenever something new comes in the market, whether it comes to any kind of discipline, whether it comes to any kind of food, habits, or financial literacy, or even a styling, all these are the are basically lifestyle or the life concept, right? So it's very important for everybody to be, to be open to change, to be ready to learn. Okay. So that is the next thing I wanted to talk about. And yes, as I already mentioned, that these learnings are for life, right? So you can't master it in one or two go or trainings. That it's important for people to keep attending these things. Okay. Now I would tell you how these things are interconnected. For example, if somebody's soft skill is, or if somebody is already having a soft skills called creative thinking or innovative thinking, so being that part of them being creative can be used in their grooming, right? They can use it by themselves. They maybe need a little bit of guidance from here and there. And for that, I believe these days YouTube is enough. But yeah, you can see, read, watch, learn, and then you can help yourself, right? So if somebody who is already a creative thinker can be a good stylist, okay. If somebody who's already good at negotiation can be a good assertive communicator. If somebody who's already self motivated can be a good leader. If somebody who knows how to get things done or having a good negotiation skills can be a good team player, right? So that is how you see, with these quality being inbuilt in someone already, they can be trained and they can be transformed. That's what the entire game is about. See, these concepts are very, the difference between these concepts are very thin line, but we need to identify the difference and recognize it, register it, and then work accordingly, right? Next thing I would like to talk about is time management. So time management is another very important aspect of soft skills and personality development as well. For example, if you are a professional, if you are working professional, you should know how to balance your time, right? So that you can maintain your work life balance, and which is becoming a major problem for a lot of working professionals, especially women, right? Women are like, generally women these days who are working, they are neglecting them. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, ma'am.
Generally women who are working these days, they are neglecting their health or their well-being in one or the other way. So time management comes to the rescue over there, right? You need to divide your time, and again for that, I'll go back to what I said in the beginning of the session. Planning is one of the most important thing what you can do for your time management, right? For example, I'll tell you this very interesting time management rule, which is known as the 80-20 time rule, right? So what you do is at least 20% of your day, right? 20% time of your day you spend on something which is for your growth, right? Now, when I say your growth, it includes mental growth and physical growth as well. For example, as a working woman, and you are responsible for all the like household chores as well. We make sure that everybody is eating on time, everybody is having their lunch, dinner, breakfast, and snacks, and on time, and having a good food and all of that. But we neglect ourselves. So instead of doing that, neglecting yourself, what you can do is take out that 2 minutes time and have pop in a needful maybe dry fruit or a fruit what you need to eat, what is necessary for your well-being, right, for your health, right. And when it comes to mental health, I would say apply the 80-20 time rule over there as well. For example, if you are spending your entire day in taking care of the family and your work, so instead of giving it 100%, you just give it the 80%, and that the other 20% you keep it for yourself, right. You can go for a walk, can go ahead and have your cup of coffee and tea, sit in your balcony and think about yourself, think about your growth and your development, right. And if you look back into our tradition and culture, see, women had these intact practices of doing pujas every day or rituals every day, and maybe for 20 minutes or half an hour, and which used to give them the what do you say, spiritual satisfaction or soul satisfaction. So I believe that was also in like old times. I think that was their way of having their own me time, right? So we may, of course, in a modern time, we can modify it, we can improvise it, and but the bottom line is we should have our 20, at least that 20% of our day for ourselves, right? Me time is very important. And of course, it is not only for women, for kids as well. Kids are also overburdened these days, getting like apart from school, getting enrolled in different courses and all of that. So, not it is also applicable for men as well, that they have that me time, which gives you a sense of satisfaction, a sense of peace of of a peace of mind, all of that, right? So, apart from it, I would also like to talk about when it comes to time management, what happens is, see, sometimes if you have a potential, if you have a passion, and you give 20% of your time to it, and you never know, someday it can pay you 80%, out of there, from where you are least expecting things to come out, right? And it happened with me. My first publication, actually, it was a flash fiction. I wrote it somewhere, I kept it aside, and I even forgot it, right? And one day I was just scrolling Insta and I got this, I see this ad that you can submit your write up, and if it gets selected, you will, will get back to you, that sort of thing. I submitted, and then, of course, I forgot. Cut to 3 months, I received a mail that your write-up has been selected for national publication, and that too for free. I didn't even needed to spend a penny for it, and that's how my first publication happened. And with them, I published back to back in 5 anthologies, and that was amazing. So that was the projection of this 80-20 time rule for me, because I was just spending 20 minutes or something to write up something on every day and just keep it somewhere in my diary, and even forget multiple times. But it when it actually happened, it was so surprising for me that it took me some time to really recognize it, that is it for real. But yeah, that was the day I really understood the effect of 80-20 time rule. So I would really recommend this to everybody who is listening to this session. Please don't think that your hobby or something which you are passionate about is completely useless or cannot be mainstream. I would say it can be. It's just a matter of you taking that effort of monetizing it, right? See, any talent which is not monetized is not generally, it's not valued. That's what I believe, or that's what I have seen and observed around me, right? And for example, right, housewives, again, they do a lot of things for us, or for the entire family, and some, how many times they do get the real recognition? They don't, right? So the thing is, it is important for us to take charge and to make sure that we are loyal and honest towards ourselves, and we keep on doing what we enjoy, and maybe find out a way how to monetize it, or just have it, or just do it for fun, right? So that is again an important aspect of your time management according to your wish, and with the alignment of the goals or the passion you have. Okay? So these concepts are for life, and all these three concepts, soft skills or personality development, professionalism, these are, I would say, not only concepts, these are lifestyles. You being professional or at work, or you being a good citizen, it's a lifestyle. You develop it. It cannot happen overnight, right? You develop it over course of time, and that is the reason I am suggesting a lot of tips and tricks how you people can develop it, or include certain things in your routine which can help you people, so to progress more and thrive more. So I would like to take up questions. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, we are open to the questions. Anyone, please unmute and you can ask questions or send it in the chat box.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ji, ma'am. My name is Dr. Manjari. Ma'am, there is a question that sometimes it happens that sometimes we are unable to create that kind of impression among the people, as I am in academic industry. तो स्टार्टिंग में क्या होता है, स्टार्टिंग में तो हो जाता है, बट कहीं ना कहीं वो कनेक्शन ना लूज होने लगता है. तो वो जो कनेक्शन लूज होता है, जो इम्प्रेशन लूज होता है, हाउ टू मेक अप इट.
Mansi, can you just tell me a little more what kind of impression you are talking about?
Just suppose when I began my class, yeah, I began with the content and all, and after all the
Hmm.
for 10 to 15 classes, somewhat I think there is a loose type of connection where might be you can say the student get disinterested for a while, and somewhat they used to get a different kind of perception, but I am not getting what is the
Hmm.
exact reason of it. Despite I am working on the content like wholeheartedly, yet there is always there is a loose connection between at a point of time it happens. Later on it
Hmm.
rebuilds also, but at a point of time it happens, we usually lose connection.
Okay. So for this, I would suggest that you can try two things. Okay. Try humor. Okay. Because sometimes the students are like, student crowd is the most difficult crowd to handle. That's what I personally believe, right? So what you can do is be little bit humorous and friendly with your students. That would be my first suggestion. Okay, don't be too strict, don't be too liberal, but just find a middle ground. Okay, understand your class, and mold it in a way that you can be friendly with them according to your convenience, and in the limits, so that you can maintain the dignity as well. Second thing, if you are not comfortable with this, maybe you can another thing with what you can try is including ice breaking sessions in your class. So whenever you go into the class and you start with a topic, whatever subject you are teaching, please make sure you do have a kind of ice breaking activity for it, right? At least if not on everyday basis. Suppose if your working week is look like Monday to Friday, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, like these 3 days, whatever classes you have with the same batch, with the gap of one day in between, do have ice breaking activity and see what are the creative thoughts of your students, and try to gel through that. So you can do this through, you can build this, never ending connection with the help of humor and with the help of newness, which comes through the ice breaking activities, and with being little more creative in your teaching style, more importantly, right? So
Thank you, ma'am.
I hope I have answered your question. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. One thing more, in case of technical, as I'm handling some technical subjects right now, ITB, like that is IT in business, yeah, somewhat like that.
Hmm.
So, can how we can make it more, you can say engaging, and you can say as you were saying, to to add humor and creativity into it. I'm not unable to get
Hmm.
it that how to make it more creative and presentable, so the students will attract to the subject and
Which is the subject you teach?
I'm teaching IT in business.
IT in business.
Yeah.
Maybe your ice breaking activity can be related to e-commerce, right? For example, see, there is another method of teaching, which is about shocking your students. Instead of going to the class and start teaching directly, what you can do is ask them questions. Okay, give the charge to them, and then slowly you take it in your hand. Okay, for example, if you have this topic called e-commerce, right? So instead of just going into the class and start teaching, what you can do is you can ask them, how many of you use Flipkart, right? Of course, they will raise their hands, right? And then you ask them, how did it started? Who is the founder? When did he, converted it into just being offline to online, services and all of that, right? So you elicit the topic, you don't jump onto the topic directly, rather you elicit it. You give them the opportunity to express and to, you basically try to, what do you say, navigate their thought process. You must remember the scene of Three Idiots where Amir Khan writes these two words on blackboard: pre-radicalization and Farhan nitrate, right?
Farana, right, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, somewhat of that, eliciting the topic
Yes. Ma'am,
really, really helps.
thank you so much, ma'am. I have got my answer,
Thank
and
you.
I am just now planning for my next class to what to do now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, one more question from Piyush K. How do you suggest
Okay.
balancing technical and soft skills to create a well-rounded personality?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
How do you suggest balancing technical and soft skills to create a well-rounded personality? And if
Okay.
you can
So
share some strategies. Sorry, if the same person has sent one more, and if you can share some strategies for improving soft skills like communication and teamwork in remote and virtual environments.
okay. So actually, when you say technical skills, basically those are hard skills which you learn in a particular course, right? And as I said, soft skills are skills which you learn through your experience and the kind of environment you have worked in or you have studied in, right? So there is actually what you need to do is you need to find the perfect balance between these two, and these two are very different part of your personality, right? They are not directly interconnected or interrelated. So, suppose if someone, like for example, take Mahendra Singh Dhoni, right? He is having the technical skill. He is very good at in the ground, and we all know how much patience and calmness he has, right? So that patience and calmness, what he has, is basically his soft skills, right? Which he developed. He's not faking it over there. And he is already he's already like that. It's the part of his personality. Like the his amazing performance, like the way he the cricket is the part of his personality. It is also gifted to him, right? And he honed on both his skills. He sharpened both his skills continuously. Now, how he might be doing it? So, thing is, see, for a sport, I took an example of a sports person, right? So, of course, for them, practice implies they do practice whatever sports they play. And when it comes to your soft skills or developing your personality, you can try reading. Please have reading as your daily ritual. And I am suggesting this to everybody. Please get into the world of books. Okay. And I mean, just read. Don't have bigger targets. Have a small targets. Right. Read good authors. If you're not comfortable with British and American authors, that's perfectly fine. Please start Indian authors. They are really good. We do have really lucid and smooth essays of Vivekananda and Nehruji and Mahatma Gandhi. We do have really good essays of them. And please go ahead and read, and that will provide that richness, that food for your soft skills and personality development, because when we see, when we observe the world, when we consume the world, from there our soft skills and personality, development comes in. That is the main source. So, yeah. And when it comes to applying it in a virtual, see, on a virtual front, you actually need not apply it a lot, because I mean, for a corporate employee, it's just about a few formal meetings and, completing their deadlines and tasks and all of that. Right. So you need very surface level soft skills over there, which can be to, greeting each other properly and, just keeping, meeting the deadlines, and that's it. Not much, right? But it becomes more challenging when it comes to the remote thing, or sorry, or when it comes to the offline process of it, right? When you every day you meet people and you have to behave in a certain way, and how you, even if you are going through, let's say, bad phase, but still you can't show it up on your colleagues, right? So that those things can be something which is challenges, and for that I suggested, again, maintaining a journal, right? Writing a diary entry really helps. Okay, even in your adulthood, see, there are two benefits of it. If you write diary entry, you need not share or show up your anger or whatever you are feeling to people, right? You can restrict it to your diary and your secrets, whatever you write, whatever the plans you have, it will be safe as well. And another thing is, you can track your progress as well. Whenever you look back, as I shared, that whatever I wrote in my vision board in 2021, it is my reality now, right? So you can literally look back and track your progress, whatever you planned for your year. Was it successful? Did it really happen or not, right? Instead of sharing the memes that successfully wasted one more year on 31st night, you can do this, right? So, yeah,
True.
I hope I'm
Thank
making
you. Thank
sense.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Ma'am, one more question from Mrs. Kavita. How do we improve
Yeah.
soft skills for students in colleges?
Introduce them to the best practices I am talking about, right? Introduce them to the best practices of planning and of, as I said, making to-do list, task list, and writing journaling their life, writing diary entry, and avoiding procrastination. See, what happens is, see, when there is a weak student and he failed in 5 subjects, and we motivate that particular student, and in the next exam he failed in 3 subjects, and but he cleared 2. So instead of focusing on those 3, focus on the other 2, right? And you keep on motivating, you keep on doing your job. And instead of being really strict, I would say, with students, you be more motivating to them and introduce them to best practices. Tell them the real applications of the practices, right? For example, see, sometimes, see, this, especially this generation, Gen Zs are very difficult to handle because they are more inclined towards questioning everything. So when you will tell them that do this is good for you, they are not like us, like millennials, right? It's not like they won't question and they'll just start following. No, they'll question you, why, how, when, what, where. So you should have those reasons with you. Suppose you are telling them that don't get into the cycle of peer pressure, right? So just don't suggest and leave, right? Tell them give them the entire detail, give them the large picture of it, the entire perspective of it. Only then you will be able to understand. Now the problem, what happens is, when these children, they ask some people or their parents, so parents take it into the different tangent, and they will say that, why are you arguing with me? But all the time it's not argument. Maybe it's just a curiosity, right? We need to understand the difference as adults. That's what I believe.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Yeah. Any other questions?
Any more
Okay.
questions?
Okay. So we'll be ending it. Vote of thanks. Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, Kriti Vijaya, ma'am. Today we had the privilege of engaging in a fascinating and thought-provoking discussion on various tools which helps in the personality development. The expertise and the passion displayed has truly enhanced our experience. Ma'am, you skillfully shared your knowledge on personality development, leaving us with valuable insights and different motivational ideas. And your this has actually captured and inspired us to explore further. So mostly, I think our participants will definitely explore further on this. We sincerely appreciate the effort you invested in preparing this enlightening session. Thank you, ma'am. And yeah, we express our gratitudes to you for sparing your time from your hectic schedule to impact information onto us. You have provided in-depth analysis of the topic and shared some fascinating information. We shall abide our time for further such workshops in order to advance both of personal and collective knowledge. Additionally, I would like to thank everyone present for this smart questions and active involvement. This event is considerably more meaningful because of your participants.